to turn now to a woman whose life has been in the American political sphere for decades. Cindy McCain is out with a new book called Stronger: Courage, Hope, and Humor in My Life with John McCain.
And we recently caught up with Ms. McCain to discuss life with her late husband and her message for those experiencing loss in this pandemic. It seems like we have been seeing you and talking to you for most of our lives, but it's good to see you once again. And you're joining us here on, this is National Nurses Week. And look, through all of your work, you've come in contact and done a lot of work with some of our frontline workers. Just give me your message and some of your thoughts now when it comes to nurses over the year we've seen.
Well, obviously, we owe so much to our nurses and our doctors. We need to not only remember to respect and remember them, but also remind everyone that it is important to be vaccinated and it's important to get on with our lives. And I think nurses and doctors are the perfect example of that. And none of us can say thank you enough. Thank you seems so small to say to them.
Yeah, we certainly have so much gratitude for all they've done and all they continue to do each and every day. We want to talk about your new book, Cindy, and you detail your life with your late husband, of course, the great Senator John McCain. There's a great story you have in here about how you two met on a family vacation. You ended up dating long distance, but then you came down with bronchitis. And if you would, fill us in on the rest of the story. It's pretty funny.
Well, I did. I really contracted a really bad case and actually wound up in the hospital. And all of a sudden, my phone rings in the room that I'm in, and it's John. And he was calling me from China, because when I met him, he was on his way to China with a group of senators. And so we chatted, and I thanked him for this beautiful bouquet of flowers that were from John. And he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you like them. That's so wonderful. We'll get a chance to talk when I get back, and I hang up. And it wasn't until like a year later I found out that it was another John that sent me the flowers that he had taken credit for.
And he was like, "Great, I'm so glad you like them. I picked them out just for you."
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? I don't want to follow up about who that other John was, so we will leave it there. But you have another look. I can imagine the stories you have from an extraordinary life with Senator McCain, but I could not believe this one. That you were actually afraid to hop on those small planes. You had to write a lot of campaigning. He was traveling a lot all over the state. You were afraid of the small planes. You decided to study them to get over the fear, but that led to you becoming a pilot?
Pilot, yeah, it sure did. I was terrified of flying, and as it turned out, I did all the ground school, did the flight training, et cetera. And then one day I told John, I go, "Why don't you come with me? I want to show you something." I took him to the airport and got in the airplane. He said, "What are we doing here?" And I said, "Well, we're going to go for a flight." And he goes, "What have you done?" I said, "Well," and I explained to him. So I wound up being his pilot during the first Senate race. I flew him all over Arizona.
Wow.
Well,
I was cheap labor.
But very, very impressive. It's very impressive. And this book actually comes at a perfect time in terms of you navigating. You've navigated incredible loss, and so many people have gone through something similar, are going through it now with this worldwide pandemic. And your book notably includes the words hope and courage. So we're hoping you have a message of hope, words of encouragement for those who still are dealing with so much grief, so much uncertainty, so much fear in their lives right now.
Well, the one piece of advice I can give anybody who's dealing with grief is do it your own way. There's no right way to grieve. And I would find people coming to me saying, "Well, you're doing it wrong. You should be doing it this way." And I just learned to ignore them, because grief is a very personal process. And especially during times like now when it's compounded with the daily reflection of what actually happened the night before. So I would encourage anybody, if you are in the process, do it your own way. Take your time. Remember, it's about you. It's not about anybody else.
Words of wisdom there from Cindy McCain. Our thanks again to her. And you can pick up a copy of Stronger: Courage, Hope, and Humor in My Life with John McCain. It is out now everywhere books are sold.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.